The world is on its edge as a lusty political class exploits the enforced carelessness of humans to run their agendas and propagandas. Power snatched from man is now being used to annihilate mankind. After many failed promises and a NATO lusty Ukrainian, Russia illegitimately pushed itself into the mineral-rich eastern front of Ukraine, a war that was foreseen but never expected to last 3 long years. It has seen tremendous highs, brutal lows. It has seen nations being blackmailed.
And then there's the Russian oil. We have planned to up the tariffs on India. These are secondary tariffs for buying the sanctioned Russian oil.
And nations submitted to BlackRock.
Thanks to President Trump's tireless efforts to secure a lasting peace, I am glad to announce the signing of today's historic economic partnership agreement between the United States and Ukraine, establishing the United States-Ukraine Reconstruction Investment Fund.
But peace, never an option, as they thrive in chaos, and stability becomes their kill pill. More than 3 years after this contained conflict, with the ushering of a compromised, narcissistic Trump 2.0.
God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
that.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on this
position to
question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly
this.
what
I'm not
You're
dictating.
in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
You
We're
will.
going to. A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan.
We see a renewed effort to horizontally spread the conflict. Unable to stop the bear's onslaught on a rather proxy Ukraine, citing his failed promises before the elections.
Said very boldly, you could end this Ukrainian-Russia war in 24 hours.
Yeah.
How?
Donald J. Trump threatened Russia with additional sanctions if they didn't seize their Ukrainian blitzkrieg. Well, the rarer deal is at stake. Replying to an erratic Trump, Dmitry Medvedev, the current deputy chair of the Security Council of Russian Federation and the former Russian president, posted on X, "Trump's playing the ultimatum game with Russia. 50 days or 10. You should remember 2 things. Russia isn't Israel or even Iran. Number 2, each new ultimatum is a threat and a step towards a war, not between Russia and Ukraine, but with his own country. Do not go down the Sleepy Joe road." Shots fired. The brawl began. Team Trump roared on Truth Social, dragging the ever-resilient India too. I don't care what India does with Russia. They can take their dead economies down together, for all I care. We have done very little business with India. The tariffs are too high, among the highest in the world. Likewise, Russia and US do almost no business together. Let's keep it that way and tell Medvedev, the failed former president of Russia, who thinks he's still the president, to watch his words. He's entering very dangerous territory. If you want a short breakdown of this as a YouTube short, let me know in the comments. Medvedev, on an unspecified platform, reminded Trump of the Russian dead hand. Now, what is the Russian dead hand philosophy? Let's talk about that. The Russian perimeter system, nicknamed Dead Hand, is the brainchild of Colonel Valery Yarnik, a senior officer in the Soviet Strategic Rocket Forces. He wasn't a madman building a stockpile of nuclear warheads. He had a clear philosophy. The best way to prevent nuclear war is to ensure retaliation would still happen, even if the leadership is gone. That cools the heads of those who think about launching first. During the Cold War, there was a constant threat of a nuclear strike from either the Soviets or the Americans, both parties on the edge. In 1974, the Soviet government ordered the creation of a fully automated, survivable, retaliatory system, an alternate to the Soviet gas-based system, if it got destroyed by an American nuclear strike. After a series of flight tests of this specialized missile system from 1979, the Dead Hand was operationalized in 1985. But Soviet secrecy had it hid from the Western knowledge, such that the Secretary of State and the CIA directors admitted them not knowing about the death wish of Russia until 2009. A 2015 RAND study noted that the perimeter was designed to enable a retaliatory response in the event that nuclear weapons had decapitated the Soviet leadership. So, how does it supposedly work? Here's what the military core supposes. A top authority, example the defense minister, switches perimeter to the crisis mode. At this point, a special monitoring center continuously checks Soviet airspace for nuclear detonations via seismic, light, radiation pressure sensors. It also monitors communication links to the General Staff Headquarters. If the sensors register a nuclear explosion on Soviet territory, perimeter assumes an incoming attack. It then assesses its communications. If links to Central Command are still intact, the system automatically shuts down after a short delay, confirming the alert was likely false. But if all communications have gone silent, perimeter infers that the High Command has been destroyed. Loss of command links triggers transfer of launch authority to the on-duty officer in a hardened underground bunker near Moscow. In practice, this means by bypassing normal civilian military command layers, that officer, a young lieutenant, is effectively told, "You now have the order to launch if you push the button." Importantly, sources emphasize that human confirmation is still required at this point. The bunker officer must personally authorize any firing. Thus, perimeter does not fire automatically without any human in the loop, contrary to most sensational rumors. Once authorized, perimeter fires a special command missile, designation 15PO11, using a 15A11 rocket from a hardened silo. This command missile carries a 15B99 radio warhead that transmits encoded launch orders to all surviving ICBM launchers across Russia. Its flight is passive and shielded to survive nearby nuclear blasts and jamming. Upon reaching apogee, typically a 30-kilometer altitude, the warhead broadcasts launch codes over multiple frequencies, ensuring every silo or mobile launcher with the proper receiver will fire its missiles. This in-flight broadcast scheme is analogous to the US Air Force's emergency rocket communication system, but here it's built to penetrate a nuclear battlefield. I guess you do understand the gravity of this situation. It's not a staged WWE show, something Trump is familiar with. Being the man of ego, Trump posted on Truth, based on the highly provocative statements of the former president of Russia, Dmitry Medvedev, who is now the deputy chairman of the Security Council of the Russian Federation. I've ordered 2 nuclear submarines to be positioned in the appropriate regions, just in case these foolish and inflammatory statements are more than just that. Words are very important and can often lead to unintended consequences. I hope this will not be one of those instances. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Russia officially ended commitment to the 1987 INF Nuclear Arms Treaty, keeping the world on edge, citing that they no longer trust Europe and Trump anymore. A ticking time bomb planted by a narcissistic clown can take down humanity into a state of pure meltdown where the ravages of civilization couldn't be studied anymore. I hope you got quite critical information from this video. Do hit like, click subscribe, meeting you on the next one.